What's up everybody, Matt Nuzzo. We're here at Reel and we're going to talk to you about the Core Section 3. So this is Core's dedicated wave kite. It even says it on the side, it says wave. And a lot of times Core puts like every different discipline on the side of the wingtip, so I'm stoked to see they just put wave on there, because this kite is an awesome wave kite. But what makes a good wave kite is really, we want to explain that, and then we can explain why the Core has really hit the mark. So wave kite, first and foremost, has to drift. What is drift is that when you slack the lines by turning at the kite will go downwind and not back up or go forward over you. So it basically drifts downwind as you take line off the tensions. When you take tension off the, it will drift as you go downwind as you take tension off the lines. If you take tension off the lines, then that kite will then slowly drift downwind. A heavier kite like the XR is going to, with 5 struts, is going to have more apt as you take tension off those lines to fall backwards in the wind window and then power up. So the cool thing about the section is that it drifts amazingly well. A couple of things that lead to that is the lighter weight construction, okay? So they do use their triple ripstop material because they want to be super strong, but they've cut down as much Dacron as possible. A lot of times you see big Dacron panels here where they're not here, it's just canopy material. And that's going to give you that lightweight feel and crisp feel in the sky. So another thing that makes a great wave kite is turning speed. And this kite is quick. I love how fast this kite is. You have instant response. You pull the bar, boom, it turns, and you feel it too. So it's not like heavy in the hands, but you know where the kite is. There's nothing worse than like a dead, gutless wave kite that you can't feel anywhere in the wind window. This one is light, lively, and you know where it is at all times, but it doesn't have a heavy bar feel. Another thing is that the kite's not too overpowered, right? If you're riding strapless on a wave, you want to have the right size kite, and so a lot of times people are wave riding, they're riding their kite sizes closer together because you want to have the right size kite and you don't want to be overpowered. So this kite doesn't have a lot of power per size, so an 8 meter is probably compared to like a 7 meter XR, right? So you have to understand that if you're mixing these into your range, is that this kite is going to feel a little less powerful than say an XR is going to be. That being said, is you're getting it for dedicated wave riding, so you want to make sure that you're really getting the key sizes. So understand your wind range, what wind range is best for you, then it's going to dictate what sizes you want to have. I love kite surfing with an 8 meter or 10 meter, so 8 and 10 is kind of the key sizes that I'm using all the time. That being said, I did test out the 12 and even the 13.5, like the light wind, which, you know, like normally like a light wind wave kite, I'm not going to ride waves, right? But I've actually been taking the foil board out in the waves and also just going out to test these bigger kites in the wind. And surprisingly, they do use the lighter weight material in the light wind series, but surprisingly, that kite actually does drift well. For a 13.5 to watch it just hang, you take tension off the lines, cruise on a wave and drift down the lines, it's just completely nuts. You know, it's totally nuts as you're riding a wave to see a 13.5, that big canopy just floating through the air and going downwind. So they've done an excellent job to build the kite size range out. And that's where Core has really excelled, is making sure that each kite size is applicable to the wind range of which you're using it in. So the 13.5 and the 5 meter each work amazingly well. It's pretty easy for guys to make like 9 meter wave kite work well, because that's like the go-to size that a lot of people are riding. But to make the ends work well too, tells you that they're putting a lot of attention to detail and really customizing the shape per each size. A couple of key features about this kite that are really unique to the Section 3 that we really like about it is the bridle system, okay? So bridle system, people trip out about pulleys, okay? I've owned Core kites for a while now. I've never had a pulley seize and have it mess up my bridle. What happened in the old days with the old days is they used crappy pulleys, and those crappy pulleys would seize up with sand and then it would wear out your bridle line. That's never happened on a Core kite that I've owned. So they use a pulley here and then just a slide right through here, and it's a lot heavier Dacron. But this pulley mechanism allows for you to get bigger wind range on the kite and also still to maintain the steering as you're flying the kite. So a lot of people want to have that direct, they're afraid that you lose a direct feel with the pulleys. This kite still has a very direct feel. You're just increasing the wind range and increasing the performance. The truly unique thing are these tiny little knots down here called CIT knots. These little knots, okay? They're less than a centimeter apart, maybe a centimeter apart. These tiny knots here, these are leading edge adjustment knots. And these tiny little knots here are made for offshore, sideshore, and onshore wind conditions. And it's basically changing where the kite's sitting in the wind window. And I kind of thought, I was like, really, these tiny little knots are gonna make a difference? And I changed it up per sessions, it was amazing how much it made a difference for onshore, sideshore, and offshore conditions. It really just put the kite to where you wanted it to be while you're riding it. And I was like, wow, what a huge feature is that you can really just customize your kite to the conditions of which. They did put in these little material darts here just to stop any flutter. They did put a small batten in here, which I never like battens, but they're there just to reduce the flutter and give you that more rock solid feel. Again, it's a tiny little batten, so it doesn't impede you rolling the kite up, but it is kind of one of my pet peeves having these things in here. That being said, it makes the kite fly better, so I don't really care, and this kite's unbelievable. So. As we've come to know, Core has their great speed valve system, which works really well, super strong. The Exotech leading edge material is rock solid. They have reduced the diameter of the struts to reduce the entire weight of the kite, and they've basically made this kite, just super, super bomb-proof, but really, really lively. Just like any Core product we've seen, is that they're built to last. Core spares no expense on their construction. They're making some of the highest quality products that we've seen it to market. And this thing has been through the meat grinder already in the couple months we've had it. And it, no rips, no tears, doesn't stretch, still has been ridden a ton and still feels like the day that we got it. So Core has done an excellent job with the Section 3. If you're looking for a dedicated wave kite, you will absolutely love the Core Section 3. Give us a call at the shop, 252-987-6000 if you have more questions, or you can reach us online, realwatersports.com.